Good evening. Please stand for the pledge to flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening. With that, we'll begin regular town board meeting with the approval of the minutes, which is 2.1. Motion approving the December 4th, 2024 minutes of the regular meeting of the town board. Do we have a motion? Thank you, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And it's approved. We don't have any bidding openings this evening, but we do have a public hearing. So December 18th, 2024, 6 p.m. for consideration of the rezoning of a parcel from one family residential RA1 to general shopping district C1. The premises situated at 3341 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal, New York, and being designated as Broome County Tax Map number 158.11-2-40. And with that, I will read the legal notice that was issued in regards. The legal notice reads as: notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held on December 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. for consideration of the rezoning of a parcel from one family residential RA1 to general shopping district C1. The premises situated at 3341 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal, New York, and being designated as Broome County Tax Map number 158.11-2-40. Said public hearing will be held in the town boardroom, Vestal Town Hall, 605 Vestal Parkway East, Vestal, New York. At the time of the hearing, all interested persons will be heard. And that was dated December 6, 2024. And was released by Deborah Wallace, Vestal Town Clerk. So with that, we open it to public comments and or questions. Does any member of the public wish to speak in regards to this consideration?
Question you may or may not know. What's the assessed valuation going to be after this? It's going to be reassessed.
This is my.
Thank you, Sue.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I know.
Yeah.
Question, is the parcel going to be reassessed immediately if this approves? Approved? I would imagine that it would be worth substantially more with the zoning change, and if you're at 100% value, you do that, and if you don't know, you can approve it.
Thank you. Actually, the property does not belong to us, so that is up to the property, to the fire district, who it does belong to. So that is their determination on what they will do with the property. So the only issue for us is whether it's going to be rezoned to a commercial zoning district. Okay, does any other member of the public wish to speak? Oh, with that, we will close the public participation part and we'll go to the seeker designation. So, board members, so the seeker was submitted with the impact assessment. And as you see with the seeker thing, in all the categories, all of the seeker different things that are considered were determined to be little or no impact on any of the categories. So with that, can we have a motion approving a negative declaration in regards to the seeker, as there are no large or significant environmental concerns identified with regard to this permit application? Do we have a motion? Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it's approved. Anything further than that? Yes. Okay.
No, that's all. That's it.
Okay, so then, yeah, we don't have it down here. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve the zoning designation from one family residential RA1 to general shopping district C1 for the location of 3341 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal, New York, and as designated as Broome County, tax map number 15811-2-40. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And it's carried. And with that, we're going to move on. Okay, we don't have any supervisor updates. Privilege of the floor, and this is the first public participation section. And it is specific for agenda items only. So as any member of the public, and let me just remind you that please keep your comments respectful for everybody. It cannot be personal to any individual, limited to 3 minutes, and it must be directed to the board members only. So with that, does any member have a question or a comment on agenda items only?
I believe the agenda showed the disbursement to, did I?
Is the green light on? Now it's on.
John, and there's a disbursement to the Chamber of Commerce. Now that is for $400 some. I don't know what they do for you. I do know that they changed their membership rules when they became desperate for members. They started including nonprofits. You're a member of certain lobbying groups, but the Chamber of Commerce is not a neutral organization, nor does it have to be. It takes stands. For example, it just took a stand against the no cause eviction legislation in Binghamton. So I don't know why taxpayer funds of the total of Vestal are given to an organization that can go against the will of the citizens anytime they please. So it's a political organization. It's a legal political organization. It can do all the things a PAC can do, but yet you're contributing the taxpayer money to this lobbying organization. Shouldn't do it.
Thank you. Okay, does any member of the board or Dan, would you like to comment on that?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so then we'll move on to the next section, which is resolutions and motions. We don't have any this evening. And Public Works. Sue?
Okay, request from Scott Groats, Water Wastewater Superintendent, for the town board to approve generating a purchase order for Allegiance Trucks under Onondaga Contract 10914 and the amount of $188,193. With the approval, it is anticipated that the truck will be delivered around May 2025. Funding can be from a share of water and sewer fund balances with a recommended split of 70% water and 30% sewer. So
Do we have an amendment to?
I would like to, right, I would,
Let's do the motion and then second it,
Right.
and then we'll do the discussion and the amendment. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, and seconded?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go into discussion. So there's an amendment to the light item cost, correct?
yes.
Okay.
So I received, actually, the water department received today an updated price on the truck. That price is $190,053,
Okay,
which
so,
is under the amount they projected not to exceed.
okay, 190,000. I'm sorry, I didn't get the last one.
190,053.
053. Thank you. Okay, so with the amended amount, can we have a motion? Thank you, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thanks. Any all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried. Thank you, Sue, for updating it. Next one?
Okay, so request from Scott Groats, Water Wastewater Superintendent, for the town board to approve accepting the proposal from Hanson Van Vliet Hydrological Consultants in the amount not to exceed $109,200. This funding can be from the water fund balance, and I checked that balance and it's all in order.
Okay, thank you. Do we have motion?
So moved.
Thank you, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you. And any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried. Thank you. And Sue, finance?
Request from Daniel Reynolds, Town Attorney, to authorize payment of billable hours on 5 cases, 3.5 hours for the period of July 31, 2024 through October 29, 2024, EFCA 202-400-1977, 3.7 hours for the period of October 17, 2024 through December 12, 2024, EFCA 202-400-2100, VPD cases 2.08 hours and 2 hours. 2.1 hours, case number 202-4000-3388. Total time was 12 hours and 6 minutes. Total amount is $2,420.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried.
9.2, authorization for the town board to approve payment in the amount of $413.56 for Greater Binghamton Chamber of Commerce annual membership dues for 2025.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried.
9.3, authorization to renew the agreement with Broome County Office for Aging for operation and lease space of the Vestal Senior Center, 201 Main Street, Vestal, for the term 1/1/2025 through 12/31/2025. There will be no charge to the county for the use of this space.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, and seconded.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried.
9.4, authorization for the town supervisor to sign an agreement with Apogee for website setup and development. This will be for a 1-year term.
Okay, thanks. We're gonna go for a little discussion for this. Could we have a motion first off, please?
So moved.
And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. So with the discussion, Dan is talking to Apogee to resolve one issue with the contract. So, because of the timeframe, we might postpone till January. However, if that is resolved, we can proceed forward. Now, the present contract would include the provisions that we've been speaking about for weeks. The main provisions being that the initial cost, startup cost would be $6,000 with the discount. And then the total cost would be $16,350. But Dan has been going over the exact particulars of the contract to ensure that we retain the rights to all of the information on the website. And there won't be any issues if we decide not to continue with them in the future. So we're just working out those last particulars. All the other, I think we're resolved on everything else.
Actually, I have a couple more.
Okay, so how about this? If we want to, and also just to put it forward, we've spoken to the department heads, and this is not here nor there, but just so you're aware, they are all involved in the process. It's been very positive, and again, the hope is that we're going to get a website that is much more interactive, less frustrating, and has a lot more capabilities than the present one. But obviously, we want to make sure that everything is squared away with the contract, that we are protected, and that they are able to come to terms 100% to ensure it. And thanks to Dan, we're ensuring that is done. So we can, what I suggest is that we amend it to consider The authorization for the town supervisor to sign an agreement with Aptigee for website setup and development contingent on town attorney approval of contract provisions. In other words, we're securing that. If we don't secure that, we're not going forward. So, and then that would be for a 1-year term. So with that, is there any discussion?
We should vote on the first one before we amend it.
Okay. So, so we'll vote on the first one first?
Should we vote on
Can
the,
we amend?
should we vote on this first
Mhm.
before we amend it?
No.
No,
No, we can do,
Motion to amend it.
just amend,
It's
okay,
second.
okay. So we
Okay.
have a motion to amend it first?
so moved.
Okay, and seconded?
Okay.
Thank you. And with that, we'll vote on the amended version.
Yeah.
And so do we have a motion? Oh, well, we're in motion. So, all in favor of the amended version?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, and it's carried.
9.5, authorization for the town board to approve payment in the amount of $412.50 to Coughlin and Gerhart LLP for outside counsel fees for professional services rendered through November 30, 2024.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried.
Okay, 9.6, authorization for the town board to approve payment in the amount of $4,335 to Hancock Estabrook LLP for outside counsel fees for professional services rendered through November 30, 2024.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded?
Thank-
Discussion.
Okay, absolutely. And then we go into discussion. Go ahead.
So during the working session, because of the large amount, curious what the services rendered were. I did not see that in the addendum. So I'm still curious as to what that is.
Okay, I'll have Dan speak on it because he reviews all the invoices.
This was a legal bill from Hancock and Estabrook. All right, this is a legal bill from Hancock and Estabrook. It's large because they made a motion for summary judgment. The motion required a fair amount of hours of work by the attorneys that are handling the case. They had to obtain draft at meetings with the chief, draft affidavits, submit them to the court, do legal research, memorandum, oral argument at a return date before the court. So that's what this is for.
Okay, more extensive than normal.
It was a motion. It was a thing. It was a dispositive motion, which the court is reserved on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So you ready to move into a vote? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried. And Sue?
Personnel, authorization for the town supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement with the fire district regarding the salary and benefits for Susan Bowen, Fire District Secretary. And I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And it's carried. And Robert?
11.1, request from Vern Myers, town engineer, for the town supervisor to sign the NYS DOT supplemental agreement number 1 for the board to pass a resolution regarding the Main Street Bridge replacement. This project is being funded by the 2021 Bridge New York program, which funds 95% of the eligible project costs. The non-participating costs are 100% town funded.
Okay, thank you. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried.
11.2, request to advertise on January 10th, 2025 for a public hearing on January 22nd, 2025 for an application for an overlay district, Land Development District PDD, overlaying an industrial development district ID. The premises situated at 3421 Vestal Road in the town of Vestal, New York, and being designated as Broome County Tax Map number 158 2024-11.07-2-15. This public hearing is being rescheduled from December 4th, 2024.
Thank you. We have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried.
11.3, authorizations for the town board to sign a resolution adopting the 2024 Broome County Multi-Jurisdictional Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Thank you. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried. And Sue?
Public Safety Authorization for Susan Bowen, Fire District Secretary, to carry over an additional 26 hours of vacation time.
Thank you. So do we have a motion? Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried.
Administration 13.1, authorization to reappoint Michelle McStein as a member of the Vestal Conservation Advisory Commission until term ending 12/31/2026.
Thank you. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Second.
Thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried.
13.2, authorization to reappoint Carl Lipo as a member of the Vestal Conservation Advisory Commission until term ending 12/31/2026.
Thank you. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried. Sue, did you want?
Receive and file warrants,
Mhm.
2024, 49G, 49C, 49M, 49T, 49I, 50C, 50G, 50M, 50S, 50T, and these are all bills that were presented, paid, and are now being filed. Second item, change of tenant, 1136 Front Street.
Thank you. Okay, we don't have any petitions or protests. We don't have any old business, but we do have new business. 16.1, request from Jessica Farley, Deputy Controller, for approval of a sewer department budget amendment to transfer $2,000 from the pump station improvements line S8120-2130 to the pumping station's repairs and maintenance line S8120-4325 to cover sewer station repairs. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's carried. Okay, and then 16.2 is authorization for Marcia Frost to carry over an additional 3 days, 24 hours of vacation time into 2025. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And it's carried. Okay, and then we're going to move on to my announcements. I wanted to really thank the police department for inviting us, all of the board, to their award ceremony today. And I wanted to take a couple of minutes to really thank all of the officers who quite literally put their lives on the line for all of our residents every day. And I wanted also to thank their families for their sacrifices, for their schedules, and for their worry. So our biggest thanks to them for making us all safe every single day of the year. And we'll move on to the other announcements. The winter parking rules began on December 1st and will last through March 31st. The parking of vehicles is prohibited on all town and county roads in Vestal between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Also, a really special thank you to the Recreation Department for all their hard work this holiday season, including the tree lighting ceremony, which was absolutely wonderful and spectacular, and the gingerbread house decorating event, which is a new event that they just started, which also was incredibly fun and greatly enjoyed. But for all of their efforts, we all go to it and enjoy it, but please understand it is their work before and afterwards and throughout the year that makes all these wonderful events happen. So I really want to thank especially Patrick, but Dulcie and Kelsey as well for all their hard work. And this is our last town board meeting of 2024. The first town board meeting of 2025 will be on Wednesday, January 8th. So and I'm sure the board members want to wish everybody a really happy Christmas and holidays and a really happy new year. So with that, we're going to move on to, does anybody have any comments on the committee? Any committee chairs have any comments on committee in this section? Anything to add?
Just wanted to congratulate the fire district. The whole separation process is mostly and almost complete. And we're still family, obviously, but we're now compliant with the law, which is even better. So the fire department does an outstanding job, continually training, continually upgrading the equipment, the supplies that they have, and their efforts throughout the community mean that we live in a safer community. So much appreciated, and special thanks to the police department. It was a great award ceremony today, and they certainly make us all safe, and we appreciate that. We support in any way that we can, and wanting to wish everyone happy holidays.
Thank you. And I want to add my thanks to especially the new fire commissioners for all of their hard work in the separation process as well. And all to our firemen who, as volunteers, give of their time all year round and also make sure that our residents are safe in all different ways. So thank them as well. Anybody else? Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to the public comment section. So once again, just a reminder about the rules. Please just keep it respectful, 3 minutes, and address to the board, and nothing personal about any individual. This should be about town business. So does any member of the public have a question or a comment?
McCartney, 790 Bun Hill Road, and I'm here tonight as the chairman of the Board of Fire Commissioners. I just want to commend the cooperation of the town board and the excellent working relationship we have with them, and appreciate the assistance provided from the comptroller's office, the engineering department, the IT department as we move through this transition. We're almost done, and we could not have accomplished this monumental task without the relationship we have. And we hope as we move into 25, we continue that relationship. We are part of this family, and we're here together to make this a better community. Thank you, and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Okay. Does anybody else have a question or a comment?
Hello. Do you have copies of the rules to be distributed for the public? I'd like a copy.
Sure, I can distribute them. I can
Do
give it to you.
you have it right now? Or?
I don't have one in hand, no.
Okay. The state's open meetings law require that the rules be distributed to the public and copies are available. I can't, the one that's posted conspicuously there is sort of worn out and I can't see it between that and the lights. So I would appreciate it if you would get in compliance with the open meetings law on that. The next thing is you went to executive session after you shut me down. I think it was a Monday night work session. And you went to the executive session under the guise a topic of personnel, if I recall that right. That's not a valid explanation of an executive session. So if you'd like to elaborate on why you went into executive session, I'd appreciate it.
Now, executive session is a private matter. It is a town business matter, and because it involves our individual personnel, that is why it's not a public matter whatsoever.
I understand the concept of an executive session, but your reference to the executive session was not sufficient enough to go into the session. Now, as I understand the rules, you can praise somebody by name, and I've heard that. I've got a collection of them, but you can't criticize a town official by name. Am I understanding that correct?
There is no criticism of any individual whatsoever. Correct.
But you can praise them, because I've heard you praise, for example, 1118, you praise Mr. McCartney by name.
I'm not going to go back and forth with you, but I just said what the rule is.
So you can't mention anybody's name at any time.
I think you're confusing public comment with the work of the board. And certainly the supervisor of the employees can recognize employees in a meeting.
So the board has preferential free speech rights and the public doesn't.
The whole point of public comment is for you to make comments on the agenda items or on the business of the town.
Right.
Okay, that's it. It's not to have a back and forth question and answer, argue, tell everybody everything that you think is wrong.
So disfavored opinions are not allowed.
Okay, once again, it's not a back and forth, so you can make a.
She just said it was.
No, I said it
Right.
was not.
Right now, you can make a statement or ask a question, but it's not a back and forth between you and us, okay? So do you have anything further before it?
Sure I do. But I'll tell you what, I would appreciate it if you didn't interrupt me. Now, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. In light of the last 3 or 4 meetings, I would like you to be woman enough to apologize to me for not recognizing constitutional rights that you took an oath to, and for the mistreatment of me. I'll tell you what, that would suffice. So if you're willing to apologize for the last 3 or 4 meetings in which you shut down public comment and wouldn't allow me to speak because it was something that was disagreeable to you, I'd appreciate that. Now we can end this right now.
In actuality, the last several meetings, very specifically, it has been stated over and over again that you may not, in public comment session, just in case you misunderstood me, belittle or name by name other people. And that rule has always been in place. It's been in place since the beginning of the year. You violated it twice, at which point in time you obviously were not going to conform to the rules, and the meeting was adjourned. Just in case you wondered, adjournment of a meeting is a precedent motion. So it takes precedence over whatever it is you're doing. And that's the procedure that was followed. If you want to read Robert's Rules of Order, feel free to.
I thought this wasn't a back and forth. I thought this was public comment. See, look.
If you don't have anything else to say.
Why
about
are you interrupting me?
Because you're wandering all over the.
I'm not wandering. You're wandering.
It's not a lecture session. You have a comment, you sit down.
Okay, your time is up. So is any?
My time is not up.
Have it.
Okay.
Few more seconds.
His time is up.
What do you mean? I'm looking at the clock right there.
Okay.
The guy, not official.
Well,
Wha-
this timer went off. so-
Okay.
Would you be willing? I
Do you
just
have
want to
any further-
would you be willing to apologize tonight and we can end this?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn. Would somebody like to second that motion? Thank
Okay.
you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.